My name is Deborah, and I want to thank you for coming today. I'm here to tell you all about how the Blackfoot Indians used Glacier National Park in many different ways. This interpretive talk is all about how the Blackfoot Indians and other surrounding tribes use Glacier National Park to live and thrive. Nitsitapi, meaning the real people, were commonly called Blackfeet or Blackfoot Indians. There are three groups of Blackfoot Indians: the Siksika, the Piegan, and the Piikani. They were given the name Blackfoot because of the English translation of the name Siksika, referring to the dark-colored moccasins that they wore on their feet. The two names now refer to their current nationality. Blackfoot Indians live in Canada. Blackfeet Indians live in the United States. They were a nomadic people and are considered hunters and gatherers. They were also known for their warring lifestyle. This is the manner in which the southern Blackfeet tribes controlled the northern plains of the United States, including the eastern portions of Glacier National Park and the Rocky Mountains. I'm going to show you a picture here by Edward Curtis, taken in the 1800s, of the Blackfeet Indians in Glacier National Park. And this one over here is another picture of the same Blackfeet Indians. She's a woman and she's carrying a travois behind her horse in Glacier National Park. The Blackfeet tribes used Glacier for many things, including hunting and gathering, traveling, and homes. Glacier National Park was used as a spring and summer harvest. It was used on a yearly cycle for hunting and gathering. They began in the spring, where two groups would disperse. One went to the plains to hunt buffalo, as in this Charlie Russell painting, where they're hunting the bison. And the other went to the mountains to dig roots and berries and collect plants for winter storage food. They also cut lodge poles for their teepees and travoises. A teepee is a group of poles leaned together and tied at the top with animal skins wrapped around to form a movable shelter. A travois is a wooden frame that is bound at the top and carried behind, or drug rather, behind a horse and carried their luggage. I'm going to show you a book of plants and roots and things that they would have gathered. First is the western sarvisberry. They gathered that to dry and make pemmican. The next is called kinnikinick, and they used the bark and the leaves with or instead of tobacco. The next is big sage. Big sage was used in the treatment of sore eyes and colds. Mountain alder was used to boil and help with hemorrhoids. Fascinating. Redossier dogwood they gathered the stems for making baskets and basket weaving. And the last one I'm going to show you is wild rose. The wild rose was collected and dried, its leaves as well as its petals, for teas used medicinally, and the berries, called rose hips, were used to eat and also to use in pemmican. They held on to the plant through the winter, which made great winter foraging. This is just a few of the plants that they would gather for winter food and baskets and making things. Other things would include huckleberries, wild onions, thimbleberries, wild raspberries, elderberries, low Oregon grape, chokecherries, and many more. They had many important paths that crossed the treacherous mountain passes. For Glacier was also used as a highway. The paths across the mountains were used heavily by the Northern Plains Indians and the Blackfeet, and the easternmost Plateau Indians, the Flathead and Salish Kootenai Indians. The easternmost Plateau Indians are known as the Flathead and Salish Kootenai Indians. They reside around the current Flathead Lake, bordering the Rocky Mountains and Glacier National Park. They would both engage in rituals of horse thieving, pillaging, taking of scalps, and counting coup on enemy tribes. The paths were used for such purposes. In Flathead Lake, there is an island called Wild Horse Island, which had a pasture land, which had served as a pasture land for horses for the Salish and Kootenai tribes residing around the lake. It is said that they would herd the horses around the lake and to the island to keep them from the raiding tribes that came from across the mountains. Here I'm going to show you a picture of a raiding Indian tribe, also done by Charlie Russell. Some arrowheads at the bottom there, authentic. And this is a picture of Wild Horse Island in Flathead Lake near Kalispell, Montana. This is a picture of the lake, of the island in the lake. And this is the map. It is a state park and protected now. Finally, Glacier was used for winter homes. As winter approached, some of the tribes would nestle their homes into the wooded river valleys for protection from the winter and prairie winds. Valleys like East Glacier, Two Medicine, and Many Glacier were popular winter home sites for the Northern Plains Indians. This is a picture of, again by Edward Curtis, where they're nestled near a river, and I believe it is their winter grounds. This is a picture of Glacier National Park. Right here is East Glacier, where a lot of them camped, nestled right in at the base of the mountains. Here is St. Mary's, where also they would camp. And up here is Many Glacier and Two Medicine valleys. It is amazing to think that the rugged landscape and harsh winter was the key to the survival of the northern Indian tribes. They used it for food and shelter, its animals for food and clothing, and its mountain passes as highways for travel between neighboring tribal lands. Thank you for listening. I hope it encouraged you to think about the many unexpected uses of the wild places, including Glacier National Park.